Coventry remain the only unbeaten side over in the Championship, and of course they are top of the table heading into this week's action. But can Middlesbrough close the door and maybe even topple the table themselves? We'll get into that. Much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. It is match number 13, that's right. As we head into Halloween weekend, of course. Can, of course, Coventry remain top of the table, but Middlesbrough hope they can trip up maybe and maybe take over the reins themselves. We'll get into all of that and much more in a second. If you do, will you be in? Smash your subscribe. You want subscribe for Blackburn Rovers Championship. Whoa, football. We're all here under one Ruski. And of course, what about the playoffs? It's absolutely crazy in those playoffs. And of course, don't get me started on the drop zone. We'll get into all of that and much more in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons, and big shout out to you guys. That's right. Now, you've been absolutely madness on the likes. I do appreciate the likes. But can we get 60 likes here this video? I know we've only got a couple of days before match day, but I do believe in you guys getting the likes. I'm hoping to break into the triple digits in likes soon, but 60 likes if you can do it. Of course, we'll start there and we'll move on as, of course, we get closer to the Christmas period. So here we go then, recap of the results from last time around, and these were those. As you see it, Preston with a massive 3-2 win over Sheffield United in the Chris Wilder derby. Meanwhile, Coventry City, 3-1 winners over Watford, doing their thing, scoring a whole bunch of goals. Ipswich with a 1-0 win over West Brom. I went with a 2-1 win myself. Stoke got a massive win away to Portsmouth. That was fantastic for them. Rovers did beat Southampton 2-1 as predicted. Bristol City with a 1-0 win over Birmingham City. Derby with a massive win over QPR. Hull only got a point against Charlton. Borough and Wrexham level. Even Stevens 1-1 with a 2-2. Millwall with a 1-0 win over Leicester. I got that one close to the mark there. And Wednesday, 2-1 loss at home to Oxford City. And Swansea piling on the pressure on Liam Manning with a 2-1 win in the end. So this is the table as we see it. Coventry City 3 points clear over Borough. Technically, mathematically, there is still a chance Borough can top the table at the end of this weekend. They'll need a massive goal swing. They'll need, of course, Coventry to lose. And, of course, that's probably not going to happen anyway. Millwall, Bristol City, Stoke, and Charlton make up the playoffs. Who would have thought that at the start of the campaign? Going down, it is Wednesday. It's Norwich. It's Sheffield United, of course. That might not be exactly the numbers. Of course, with the points deduction, it's actually -6 for Sheffield Wednesday. So they've got a lot more work to do. But of course, big, they're just happy, I think, just relief for them to, of course, be slowly but surely getting new owners. So let's take a look at the Superbru. Of course, the link if you want to get involved. And it looks like I just didn't put in my predictions in again. Goodness gracious me. This is the current state of play this past week. Jimmy Pastoni with 17 points. Finley kicking ass and taking names in second with 16. DJ Horn in third alongside Vindaloo Victory. Cider Sheep as well. It looks like they put me in for one, which is better than none, I guess. I just didn't do it. I should have done it. I've been slacking. And of course, that's taking a hit on the leaderboard. Now, the leaderboard, I think, is just not loading right now. So we just have to come back next time and have a look. Who is, of course, kicking ass and taking names. So that is the state of play in the Super Brewski. What about, of course, what's going on in the next round of games? Well, they're coming at you thick and fast. That's the link one more time. But these are the games we're looking at this time. So let's get into the deep end, of course, by looking forward to Saturday. In fact, scrap that. We're going to go to Friday. It's Wrexham taking on Coventry City at the racecourse. Alrighty then, folks. Wrexham are hosting this match over in Wales. That's right, 16th right now, 14 points for them. Just one win in the last 6 games for Phil Parkinson's side. Up against the Coventry City side under Frank Lampard, who are top of the table, and they won 6 on the bloody bounce. That's right. Now, these two clubs have only played once. It was back in 2023. It was a 4-3 win for Wrexham. That was, of course, in the FA Cup back in January 2023. Wrexham are fresh off the back of a 2-1 loss to fellow Welsh outfit Cardiff over in the Welsh derby. That's right, over in the racecourse ground. The last victory was at the racecourse ground with a 1-0 win over Oxford United. Coventry, of course, on a free scoring run right now, coming into on the back of a 3-1 win over Watford. The bookies will back Coventry on this one. I think I've got to give Coventry something here. I think Wrexham need to prove themselves here because ultimately, I think there's signs are showing here that Parkinson might be out of his depth in this league at the moment. I'm going to go with a 2-2 thriller, goals galore, and of course, a point in the bag for Coventry, still unbeaten. Of course, continuing their reigns. Then we go to the Foxes, that's right. The King Power and Leicester City taking on my boys Blackburn Rovers. Both sides coming into on the back of just one win in the last 6 matches. Leicester are the draw kings right now, drawing 3 of the last 6. They sit 10th right now with 17 points. Up against Rovers, with just 2 defeats in the last 4 matches. They sit 21st with 10 points, of course. Now, they played 20 times since 1994. 2024. 6 wins for Leicester, 8 wins for Rovers. There's been 6 draws between the two sides. Coming into this, they last played at the King Power back in May 2024. Rovers coming out top with a 2-0 win. In fact, Rovers actually just one loss between them in the last 4. Of course, and they've got an okay record, okay recent record at the King Power. It's actually been back-to-back wins at the King Power for Rovers against Leicester. Leicester, though, are on the back of a 1-0 loss to Millwall. Rovers on the back of that all-important 2-1 win over Southampton in the at Ewood. Rovers are underdogs here. Leicester, of course, expected to win, but not me. I've drink the Kool-Aid once again. I'm a believer. One more time, 1-0. Rovers snatching it in front of the packed-out Leicester City King Power Stadium. Let's go to Norwich then. Under pressure. It is Liam Manning, of course, up against Hull under Sergej Čoković at Carrow Road. 21 times they've played since 2005. 8 wins Norwich, 5 wins Hull. There's been 8 draws. The Canaries are 23rd right now. 8 points for them. 5 defeats on the spin. They haven't won in the last 8 matches. Probably the last win was against Rovers, I would imagine. Hull, though, coming into this under Sergej Čoković, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They are unbeaten in the last 5. They sit 8th with 19 points. Now, they played last time at this venue. It was a 4-0 win for Norwich, who are unbeaten against Hull over the last 5, picking up 4 wins and just that 1 draw. Norwich, though, are on the back of a 2-1 loss to Swansea. Their last home match was a 1-0 loss to Bristol City. In fact, they've gone back-to-back home games without a goal. Let's see if it goes back further than that. Oh, it's actually a dismal home campaign for Norwich, who haven't won at home at Carrow Road all season long, if my memory, what I'm looking at is correct. I do believe I am right. As for their opposition, Hull City are kicking ass and taking names right now, scoring goals for fun, of course, across all venues, but they're fresh off the back of a 1-1 home draw against Charlton. The bookies' odds for this one, they'll go with Norwich, which I think is I think I'm going to go with that as well. I think I'm going to go Norwich here. 2-1 winners. They'll get their first win. Maybe relieve a bit of pressure for Manning at the hot seat. Let's go to West Bromwich Albion as they take on Sheffield Wednesday at the Hawthorns. West Brom under Ryan Mason, they sit 11th right now, just 1 win in the last 4. Bit of a testing times for the young coach up against Sheffield Wednesday. Henrik Pedersen, 4 defeats on the spin, winless in the last 6. They are 24th, minus 6 points. Now, they played West Brom 18 times since the year 2000. 8 wins for the Baggies, 5 wins for Wednesday, and there's been 5 draws. They last played at the Hawthorns. It was a 2-1 win for West Brom back in February 2025. West Brom are on the back of that 1-0 loss to Ipswich. The last home match, though, was a victory over Preston. Wednesday, of course, losing 2-1 at home to Oxford. And their last away match was also a 2-1 loss to Charlton. Coming into the bookies, we'll back West Bromwich Albion. I'm going to go with a win as well for the hosts here. 2-0 winners. Despite the pressure or the mood changing at Sheffield Wednesday, I do still think they're a long way off survival or getting regular victories at the moment. Meanwhile, Birmingham City up against Portsmouth. Come at you over at St Andrews. Birmingham under Chris Davies are 15th right now, 15 points for them, just 1 win in the last 6 for Chris Davies. Portsmouth under John Mousinho, also just 1 win in the last 6. They sit 18th right now, 13 points for them. They played Birmingham 30 times since 1993. 12 wins for the hosts, 8 wins for the visitors. There's been 10 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for Birmingham back in February 2012. It's been a long time, guys. Portsmouth, though, got a recently good record. In fact, over the last 6, it's been 3 wins apiece, with the most recent match at either venue being at Fratton Park, being back in August 2019. It resulted in a 3-0 win for Pompey. Pompey are on the back of a 1-0 loss to Stoke. That was at home. It's actually been back-to-back home defeats for them. Their last away match was a 1-1 draw away to Leicester. Birmingham City on the back of that 1-0 loss to Bristol City. Their last home match was a 3-2 loss against Hull. Bookies will back Birmingham on this one. I think I've got to back Birmingham as well to get something here. I'm going to go with a draw. I just don't think all is well right now at Birmingham City. Charlton up against Swansea coming at the Valley. Charlton and Nathan Jones, that's right, sitting 6th right now, 19 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They're absolutely doing bits. Up against Swansea and Alan Sheehan, they are 13th right now, 16 points for them. Just 1 win in the last 4 though. Coming at you, they played 5 times since 2008. 1 win for Charlton, 3 wins for Swansea, 1 draw. They last played competitively at this venue. It was a 2-1 win for Swansea back in October 2019. Charlton, though, drawing with Hull most recently. Swansea on the back of that 2-1 win over Norwich. Their last away match was a 0-0 draw at Southampton. Coming into this, of course, midweek action for Swansea. Charlton are expected to win this game at the Valley, according to the bookies. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win myself favouring Charlton. Let's go Oxford United against Millwall in the Gary Rowett derby at the Kazam Stadium. Oxford and the Gary Rowett sitting 19th right now, 12 points for them. They've won twice at the last 3. Up against Millwall and Alex Neil are cooking right now. 4 wins on the spin, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They are 3rd in the table with 23 points, that's right. They played 10 times since 1993, 5 wins for Oxford, 3 wins for Millwall, 2 draws, of course. Last played at this venue, it was a 1-1 scoreline back in November 2024. Oxford are unbeaten against Millwall over the last 4, 3 wins and a draw to boot. Millwall, though, on the back of that 1-0 win over Leicester, back-to-back home wins. They last picked up a result on the road. It was a 2-1 win over QPR. Oxford on the back of a 2-1 win over Oxford. Their last home match was a 1-0 win over Derby. Tight one, this one. Could go either way. Millwall just edge it in the bookies. I don't think so. I'm going to go with a sneaky 1-0 win for Rowett's current club, and that is Oxford United. QPR taking on Ipswich Town. That's right, at Loftus Road. Julian Stefan's boys are 9th right now. 18 points for them. 2 wins, 2 defeats over the last 4. Coming up against Ipswich Town with Kieran McKenna at the helm, currently linked with the move to Celtic, of course, rocking a 58% form. That's 2 defeats in the last 4 matches themselves. They sit 12th right now, 16 points for them, and they played QPR 38 times since 1993. 16 wins for QPR, 14 wins for Ipswich. There's been 8 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for Ipswich back in August 2023. Not many goals between the two in recent times. In fact, looking at it, Ipswich have only won once in the last 6 against QPR, and that was a 1-0 win. So this game favours QPR. I've only conceded 1 goal against Ipswich in the last 5, would you Adam and Evett? QPR on the back of that 1-0 loss to Derby. Ipswich on the back of that 1-0 win over West Brom. Their last away match was a 2-1 loss to the Borough. Excuse me. Ipswich expected to win this game. I'm going to go with a 2-2 thriller here, going against the grain because there's a lot of goals in my prediction compared to recent run of events. Sheffield United against Derby, Coventry at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United under Chris Wilder sit 22nd right now, 9 points for them, 3 wins, 3 defeats over the last 6. Up against Derby and John Eustace, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They got 17th right now, 14 points, and they played Sheffield United 30 times since 1994. 17 wins for the Blades, 10 wins for the Rams, 3 draws between the two sides. They last played at Bramall Lane. It was a 1-0 win for Sheffield United back in September 2024. The Blades have won back-to-back over Derby last season, back-to-back clean sheets as well, back-to-back 1-0 wins. The Blades are on the back of that 3-2 loss to Preston. That was on the road. Last home match was a 1-0 win over Watford. Derby on the back of back of 2 successive 1-0 home victories. The last away match was a loss to Oxford United. The bookies will back Sheffield United. I'm going to back Sheffield United. Going to go with a 3-0 win for Chris Wilder and Sheffield United. Into the final 3, we got Southampton taking on Preston. Coventry over at St Mary's. Will is still in charge of Southampton. They sit 20th right now, 12 points for them, just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Preston and Paul Heckingbottom, 7th in the table, 19 points for them. They're rocking a 50% form for them right now. That's winning 2, losing 2, and drawing 2 over the last 6. They played each other 12 times in 2005, 5 wins for Southampton, 3 wins for Preston, 4 draws, of course. Last time around at this venue, it was a 3-0 win for Southampton back in April 2024. Southampton got a good record, if not a great record, against Preston over the last 6. 5 wins and just the 1 draw. Stretching back all the way to 2008. Southampton are on the back of that 2-1 loss to Rovers. Preston with a 3-2 impressive win over Sheffield United. Their last away match was a loss against West Brom. Southampton still expected to win this game. I think I've got them winning this one as well. 2-1 winners. Pressure still mounting on Southampton. Final 2. Stoke flying high against Bristol City flying high. At the Bet365, Stoke and Mark Robbins, they are 5th, 21 points for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Bristol City and Gerhard Struber, they are 4th, 22 points, also just 1 defeat in the last 6. They played 21 times since 1994, 8 wins Stoke, 10 wins Bristol City, 3 draws between the two sides. Coming into this, they last played at this venue. It was a 2-2 draw back in October 2024. Over the last 6, it just favours Stoke. They've won 3 of the last 6. Bristol City winning 2, and there's been 1 draw. Stoke are on the back of that 1-0 away win at Pompey. Last home match was a 1-0 win over Wrexham. Bristol City on the back of successive home wins. Their last away match was a 1-0 win at Carrow. It's a tight one, could go either way. They just lean towards Stoke to the bookies. I think I'm going that way as well. 2-0 winners, and hopefully that knocks the confidence of Bristol City just a little bit. And then finally we go to Watford as they take on Middlesbrough at the Vicarage Road. Watford under Javier Garcia these days, 14th for the table, 15 points for them. 2 wins, 2 defeats over the last 4 up against Borough under Rob Edwards, 2nd in the table. table. 25 points for them, just one defeat in the last 6. They have played Watford 30 times since 1993, with the Hornets winning 13 of them, Middlesbrough winning 9 of them. There's been 8 draws between the two sides. They last played at this venue, 2-1 winners it was for Watford back in October 2024. Watford are on the back of a 2-1 loss to Coventry. Borough picking up that 1-1 draw at home to Wrexham. The bookies will back. They're going to back Middlesbrough here, but it is tight. It's very, very tight between the two sides. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win for Borough. Big scoreline there. Maybe a little bit flattering for the Borough on that one. And if I'm right, that's what the table will look like at the end of it. It will, of course, be opportunity knocks for the rest of the chasing pack as Borough will close in to Coventry, but not overtake them this coming match day. Stoke, Millwall, Bristol City and Charlton remain in those playoffs going down Wednesday. Norwich City and Sheffield United still, but it's getting a little bit tighter now. We're starting to bring in the likes of Wrexham into this conversation, Oxford, Southampton, Watford, Pompey, Derby, etc., etc. So that is that, guys. And of course, don't forget to use the link for the Prediction League. And of course, make sure you subscribe, guys, and smash that like. What did I say? 60 likes? 60 likes if you could do it. 75 would be great. But of course, I'm leaving it down to you. 60 would be fantastic. Let's get them down and dusted, get some love on the channel, get us back in the spotlight, get the algorithm working for us all. But until then, I'll see you soon whenever we return, whenever that is. I'm done.